competitors. Hello. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to the final installment of the Silph World Championships round robin competitors in this preliminary group stage. We have been through 3 groups. 24 battlers have gone into the cauldron. 6 have emerged to compete in the final for that $1,000 cash prize. And today, here on Pallet PvP, we will be bringing you the final group of 8, all vying for that prize. Welcome in. I am your host, Final Boss AJ. You all know me from Gym Breakers broadcasts across Twitch and from other broadcasts where I pop up. I'm now in Silph now. I'm everywhere. Get over it. And joining me today, a final boss who's new to the title, not as experienced a final boss as I am, but someone stepping in to work alongside me tonight. You all know him, y'all love him. HM London beside me. HM London, welcome in. I am really excited to broadcast with you tonight.
Oh, final boss AJ, I'm so excited to co-host with you as well. And I heard you say $1,000. Is it too late for me to join this tournament?
I tried to get in on that, but I fell just short of. I came in second in my regional, so sadly, could not make my way into this battle royale. And honestly, looking at some of the names that have made it this far, London, I don't know how well I'd do. I'd probably be bottom of the pack, but these battlers are all capable of actually taking home the title.
I do agree. Some of these names here are top tier names, so it's going to be super exciting to see how they duke it out and what the outcomes are in these matches. I'm really excited to get into it.
For sure. Now, before we get into the battles and showing you the battlers themselves, let's explain again, for those of you who are just coming in on this final of the 4 group stage streams, just what they're doing here. We have 8 battlers. They are all going to battle each other in a round-robin best-of-3 format, so standard Silph procedures, but there are going to be rotating metas. So the battlers will not face one another on one field. No, they are going to have to show their mettle across 3 different metas from the past Silph season. We are going to get 2 rounds of Brawler, 2 rounds of Glacial, and then 3 rounds of Obsidian. Which, I don't know about you, London, but I love 2 of those metas, and I'm going to venture a guess that you can tell which one I hated.
I can. And I'm really excited to see these trainers really go at it. I like how you put it, in different fields. It's really nice to see them be adaptable and showcase their talents in these 3 different metas. So I'm actually really excited.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, so what we're looking at here. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, Final Boss.
It is all right, London. You are probably a lot more excited to talk about this meta than I am, because I hated Obsidian. It was my best showdown performance this year. I still hated it.
Well, I can't say that I'm good at Obsidian, but here we are. Obsidian Cup. So the first 5 icons we're looking at are going to be the banned Pokemon. We're going to be banned is fairies, fighting, grass, flying, and ground. So huge chunk of the meta. It's exciting kind of to see fairy banned here because we all have that love-hate relationship with our fairy type Pokemon. In addition, we're going to have Shadows banned, Megas banned, Bastiodon, Lickitung, Pachirisu, Vigoroth, and Registeel. And that's Obsidian Cup meta.
I know we were talking before the stream, London, about our mutual shared hatred of Bastiodon and our aversion to running it at any cost. So happy to see it popped up My main problem with Obsidian was, if you look at those type bands, grass, flying, and ground, all eliminated. Guess what? Ice Rex. All 3 of them. So I could not run my ice types in Obsidian. As longtime fans know, I am the queen of ice. I love my ice types. So they did not have a lot to do. Glacial, however, they had so much to do, and it was a fun time. Dragon, ice, poison, psychic, and water types in Glacial. And if you're having a few problems seeing all those banned Pokemon down at the bottom, you are not alone. Glacial had a lot of bans determined to kind of bring out some different mons in the meta. London, I don't know if you want to go through them because there are a lot down there. But
I can do my best. I have 2020, but this is even stretching my limits here. It looks like banned. We have Megas, Altaria, Azumarill, Jelly. I think that's Swampert next.
Yep.
I can't tell what that next Pokemon is.
I'm going to try to... I think that's Defense Deoxys.
Okay, good. Is that Wobbuffet next?
I believe so. I believe we have the 2 dragons in Hakamo and Como-O. I believe that's my darling and lonely night. There we go. Fish is gone.
There we go.
Sorry, it's not Hakamo and Como. It's Cresselia and Medicham.
Yes,
I cannot have been more off.
Some kind of yoga vibes going on there. But Ninetales, Alolan Sandshrew and Slash, Lantern, Gardevoir, and Toxicroak. Those are the banned Pokemon for Glacial Cup.
Yeah, so a lot of mons hitting the wayside there. It was a lovely meta for Frostlass, which made me very happy. But Glacial did allow for some unique mons to kind of step to the forefront. And with new Pokemon in these metas now available, we've seen in some of the other streams, Araquanid has been a big factor in some of these meta teams. It'll be interesting to see, again, how players adapt to these new Pokemon entering the meta, these new move changes as well. I know Lantern got banned in that one, but Tentacruel getting Scald might be more of a force.
Yeah, I'm excited to see as well.
Anyway, final meta that we have is the Brawler Cup, and I know I can hear the groans from a section of the audience seeing Brawler pop up here. Brawler is the weight class tournament that Silph ran back in November, where Pokemon were divided by weight. I did very well in this cup, London. I don't know about you, but I greatly enjoyed Brawler.
You know, I never had the opportunity to play in Brawler Cup, but I've seen some of the battles, and it does get a little bit confusing for my brain because math is not good. But having to separate by weight class, I thought is a cool concept. So I'll leave you to be the expert of Brawler Cup.
Well, I made my team actually pretty early in Brawler Cup. I was on the Kanto Ninetales train. I paired that with Steelix and Pelipper to make a very solid trio there. And then I have my ice type Abomasnow in that 5th slot because I've needed one of my ice types.
Of course.
And then Fairy was a popular choice in the lightweight division. Whimsicott got a lot of play down there. So again, we'll have to see with the new Pokemon being introduced, and new Pokemon were sorted into weight classes for Brawler for this tournament. Again, we'll have to see if the old teams hold true or if some of these new Pokemon that are eligible are going to shake things up with their new moves, with their new typings.
I have absolutely no idea. We're going to see some new picks, and it'll be exciting to see how these top battlers take these new players and these new movesets and they turn them into wins for the round. So again, I know I keep repeating myself, excited. I really am excited to see some people take the chances with some of these new Pokemon that I've not yet done. So let's get into it.
Hey, we want excitement, London. This is the final battle. This is going to be it. 2 of these people are going to fill out the field of 8 going for that $1,000 prize. And we might as well get right into it. You said you wanted to see the competitors. We have them here on screen, and I'm happy to go into them if you want to ride along. Probably the biggest name a lot of a lot of the people in the chat are going to recognize right off the bat. He just won the Peoria Regional a couple weeks ago. Hot Pocket 777. The Prince of PvP is in this group and has to be considered a favorite, London.
I would agree. Hot Pocket had an amazing showing in Peoria, and I can imagine a lot of people are seeing the name and really excited to see how he does on the field.
Exactly, but he's got to take down a stacked field of 7. I'm just going to go through them as quickly as possible here. I'm excited to see Lion's Den 716 in there, the only girls at PvP representative in the field of 32. I'm gonna have the soft spot there. I make no bones about it. I support my fellow girls at PvP. So we've seen in chat Ryblet getting some looks there. Ryblet, member of Wing Attack out of Washington, had a very strong performance in Continentals. Actually won 5-1 in the North American Continentals to book his spot. And we've already seen Jay's fan, who also had a very nice performance in there, qualify for the final 8. So Ryblet looking to match the Canadian content and get in there. We have Stone Collection, one of the most feared battlers in the world, the #1 battler in Germany, global #4 in Silph this season. Always tough to go against. So again, we've only got half the field, and we've already got some intense battlers here in London.
Yes, for sure. And as you're going through these names, all I could think to myself is that the amount of anxiety that I would have knowing that I was going to be battling one of these amazing battlers would be super intense right now. All of these names are very intimidating names that I've seen in GBL, names that I've seen in Silph. So this is a very stacked tournament with a very, very high skill set. So it's going to be really, really intense, I believe.
Oh yeah, and like I said, we are not done. Latin America very well represented here. We have the LATAM Continental Champion in Zappa 9, the #1 ranked battler in Argentina. This season went 6-0 in the LATAM Continentals with a team of 8, including Metacham, Skarmory, Alolan Ninetales, Umbreon, Shadow Nidoqueen, Lickitung, Trevenant, and Lantern. So that was the Show 8 Band 2 Play with 6 format, and Zappa was victorious out of all battlers in there. So Zappa's gotta be, has to be one of the favorites here just based on that performance. But also coming with him from that Latam battle is your Koski, the legend from Chile, part of those Twin Towers with Ventusky. Took Chile to the Gym Breakers final this past month. So South America very well represented here in this battle. And then rounding out the field, not to say rounding out to diminish them, but from the Asia Pacific contingent, we have a couple battlers here in Friends with a Z, #1 from the Philippines, went 4-1 in the APAC Continentals to book his spot here. And again, we've already seen a couple of APAC competitors qualify for the finals in Vroom Vroom Pow and Interbloom 94. And the person who beat Interbloom in that final round of the APAC Continentals, Roger Chen, 40, veteran Taiwanese player, will round out our field of 8 here. So these are our competitors looking to advance for that $1,000 cash prize, London. Do you have a favorite here, or do you just think it's going to be all out?
In the spirit of being politically correct, I'm rooting for everyone. I recognize all of these names here, and again, I've seen some of these people in GBL, met some in person, and it's just really too stacked for me to be able to call for one, but I'm really excited to see how this all shakes out.
Well, then let's not delay any further, my friend. Let's just get right into these battles. If the lovely and talented fish behind the screen will get us there, we are going to start in Obsidian. And we have Ryblet and Zappa9 right off the bat, two battlers that had very strong performances in their Continentals. And already, London, we are seeing the effects of new Pokemon entering the game on this meta on both sides here.
I agree. It is always exciting to see a double show up ready for war. And yes, like you mentioned earlier, Araquanid. It's going to be really nice to see how these trainers turn these new Pokemon into really solid choices for their teams. Um, I'm just really looking at these teams here and I'm trying to see who do you think has the advantage just by looking at the team comp here?
Well, it's going to be tough. We see Ryblet's favored that core four that emerged during the Obsidian meta of Dragalge, Umbreon, Escavalier, and Sableye, while Zappa9 only bringing three of them in Umbreon, Sableye, and Escavalier, going for that double bug steal strategy with Wormadam Trash on there. And I'm
surprised to see Wormadam Trash, and I'm thinking to myself, it's going to be great to see how Zappa uses this Wormadam in the matchups. I would be so afraid to run Wormadam, but I love to see the brave trainers utilizing these niche Pokemon.
Yeah, and I think that double on Zappa9's side will have a lot of play, just being able to spam body slams out. Double kick should not be underestimated. It makes that Umbreon very dangerous to bring in from Ryblet if it gets matched up on that double. And you don't know what the charge move is yet. It could be Payback, or in a dark heavy meta, it could favor Wild Charge, which would give it a lot of closing power, especially against that Araquanid.
I agree, and that low kick is not going to be appreciated by Reggie Rock either. And so it's going to be interesting to see how these rock or dark types are able to protect themselves. What Pokemon will they bring to set those Pokemon up for success? That's what we'll have to wait to find out.
I'm excited. I'm ready to get into it. I want to see double. Let's see it, Zappa. Let's represent you. I believe in the power of the sheep. I want to see it.
All right, let's get into it.
Let's do it. We are riding along with Ryblet, and we see Sableye into a Escavalier. A great lead here for the battler out of Washington. And Zappa immediately goes into the mirror here. This is an interesting swap in.
It is an interesting swap in. And one thing about a Sableye swap in into another, you are behind on energy. And so it is going to really take a lot of skill to be able to flip that matchup. But then we do see a swap in to Araquanid. We get to see some Araquanid play.
Hey, you gotta love seeing the third Spooter in that spooky trinity with Halloween Cup coming up. Araquanid shrugging off that foul play from Sableye, and that early shield that Zappa spent on his own Sableye could come into play here with Ryblet not really needing to shield this bulky water bug type. Here's the return, and it lives!
Wow. You never thought Sableye had that much energy, but it did. And still, it just shows you the bulk of Araquanid being able to hold on and get that bug buzz off. We do see that Sableye uses its second Protect Shield, which is probably really good news for Ryblet here.
Yeah, Zappa had to get Sableye off Escavalier here. And now this foul play is going to be shielded by Ryblet, maybe sensing that the Sableye is going to be a winner. And we do see that Wormadam Trash. It is a Bug Bite Wormadam. Might have been expecting the Umbreon to come in here, but Ryblet, with Zappa's shields down, going to take advantage, press on with these foul plays, and try and chip away at this Bug Steel type.
Yeah, and Escavalier is going to come in and be able to really clean up here. Escav not having a lot of bulk, but resisting the moves from Wormadam. So this is going to be really, really, really nice for Ryblet here.
Yeah, you have to think just countering down here. You see Ryblet just pounding away on this Bug Bite Wormadam. Final shield going to come up on whatever move Zappa9's going to throw here. It is the Iron Head. Escavalier, just one more counter to knock it out, and Zappa is going to be feeding some mons to the drills here, London. This Escavalier just in the corner, tuning up the lances.
Yes. What a great
There's the catch.
To be able to utilize that nearly fainted Sableye as a sponge here. I don't know how much it's gonna really be helpful because this drill run is still gonna get off on this Escav, and I believe we still have energy on the Sableye. I imagine a quick swap here. Very nice foul play, and that's gonna probably be enough to take game one for Rivlet.
Yeah, the combo play there, easily dealing with this Escavalier in the back with no energy, and Rivlet secures the early point here. And just a reminder to our viewers, total wins will count. If in a tiebreaker scenario, it is a round-robin tournament, so every point matters here. These trainers are going to be fighting every battle like it could be the deciding point that gets them into that final 8. So if you're Zappa here, London, what do you do after that? Like, you fought so well, we'll find out.
Yeah, well, this is definitely not a great lead for the Umbreon, and so I see a quick safe swap to Sableye, this is a really good matchup. I'm surprised that we still have the Escav in.
Well, Rivlet's covering his head in chat, so we will see what happens. That foul play goes unshielded and does a ton of damage to the Escavalier early on. Zappa gonna go for the Mega Horn in response, and no, shielded by Rivlet.
Oh my goodness. That was a Mega Horn indeed, nearly one-shotting the Sableye.
Oh, I don't know. That was satisfying. That was satisfying. This Escav is almost gone. Rivlet bringing in the Umbreon, but we see that Bug Bite Wormadam is here and just chewing away at Umbreon. It's so tanky. We normally see it shrug off everything, but this Wormadam is doing work, London.
I totally agree. To see Umbreon melting away is actually kind of satisfying as well. The trainer didn't like that, so Rivlet swapped out into Escav to see if we can soak some of this damage up on the Escavalier.
Yeah, and Rivlet no shielding the Bug Buzz that still does half, London, and we see the Sableye in the back for Zappa. This is tough. And all shields still in play as well. I don't know. I think I'm starting to see why Rivlet didn't want this game shown, but we're gonna show it anyway.
And Shadow Claw down is never a good thing, especially when you know that there is a lot of return possibility coming here, and you have to shield the right move. And as we can see, this Umbreon does not shield the right move. They actually are baited here.
Yeah, and going for this foul play on Sableye, Zappa knows that the Sableye has done its job. Escavalier is done, and just gonna build up. There's the return fired. As you said, London, does Rivlet just let it? Nope, he is gonna shield. Rivlet's gonna fight till the very end here, try and find this win con. This Umbreon getting a ton of energy, has 2 foul plays. Gonna fire the first one at the Sableye. And I don't know, that Wormadam looks hungry, London.
Yes, the Wormadam looks hangry, should we say. And you know, Umbreon is very spammy with his charge move, so it's not completely over, but it is a tough hill to climb to see with the amount of energy and behind a shield. So let's see what happens here.
Yeah, this Wormadam just chewing away, shrugged off the foul play. Might be a little science gathering there for Zappa to see how much it did. But this Iron Head will be enough to take out Umbreon, and Zappa will have that shield for the next battle, I'm sure. But
indeed.
But we are tied up 1-1 here. A very nice adjustment by Zappa, and that no shield on the Mega Horn proved very costly for Rivlet in this one, giving alignment to the Argentinian competitor.
I agree that no shield was very surprising to me, and I think surprising to the Sableye as well. The Sableye looked quite shocked.
Well, game 3, Zappa's going Toad, London. Politoed makes its first appearance, and we see the Dragalge save swap, some new mons hitting the field.
And this is going to be a very interesting scenario because while Dragalge resists those water type attacks, spammy Politoed is able to really build up a lot of energy here, but we do see a safe swap to the Wormadam.
Yeah, and that was a big shield. Riblet maybe learning his lesson from game two, shielding the Earthquake coming from that Polytoad as it stayed in there a little longer. Um, it has to rely on Aqua Tail damage to try and chip away at this Wormadam, but this Wormadam can't really do anything back until it gets to that Iron Head.
Yeah, and due to Dragalge normally taking super effective from the confusion, this being a bug bite gives it a lot more play in this matchup here.
Very key. We'll see if Riblet chooses to shield the Iron Head here. No, but it's not lethal. And another Aqua Tail going to come through to Zappa. Nope, Zappa's not going to offer it up either.
Yeah, I kind of like this play here of just being able to soft lose and then coming in and oh, we get a swap here, maybe for a sack swap later.
Yeah, I like that counter down there from Riblet. Get the energy on a Scavalier, get it up and running as this Sableye comes in. A Scavalier gonna have to do some work here. Early shield from Zappa. Maybe not wanting to repeat the Mega Horn mistake, but it's only a drill run.
Yes, indeed. And it's going to be really tough for Riblet to try and get through this Sableye that has another shield. And so it's an uphill battle, but let's just see how things work out.
Riblet is shields down, gonna tune up the Mega Horn here, gonna go for the knockout, but Zappa quickly throwing that shield up, trying to protect the Sableye for whatever's in the back.
Yes. Zappa said, "You are not going to do to me as I have done to you," and successfully shield. Riblet with no shields here is going to be the Escav is going to be faint here, and let's see what Riblet decides to do.
Yeah, and that was a big foul play to have to give up there for Zappa just to get rid of the Escavalier, make sure it didn't get another move off. You see another foul play coming through in this mirror match as Riblet going with his own Sableye in the back, takes the hit here, and swap to Dragalge. That was interesting. Maybe tried to catch what he thought was a double up, but Zappa did not have the move. And
definitely a misplay there with trying to catch and giving Sableye more energy, and so then losing to the coin flip, the charge move priority event, as we like to call it. Really tough match and tough to recover after game two.
Yeah, and Zappa able to turn that around and pick up a 2-1 victory over Riblet to start this group stage battle. So early advantage for the Argentine. And as we go through the other matchups here, Lions Den got 0-3'd by Yurkowski. So the South American contingent enjoying a lovely start. France with a Z picked up a 3-win against his fellow APAC competitor Roger Chen. And you look at that final battle. Hot Pocket is behind early, taking a 2-1 loss to Stone Collection.
Yeah, wow. Well, these matches are starting off very intense. And so it is interesting to see how things start to shake up as we get further into the brackets.
Yeah, and like I said, a strong start for that South American contingent. If you look at the other qualifiers so far, we actually have 2 from Europe, 2 from North America, and 2 from Asia Pacific region. So Latin America trying to make sure they have a spot at the table here, as we are going to move on to round number 2, and Riblet is going to get a shot at redemption here as he faces Lions Den 716. And a very interesting lineup here from Lions Den here. Only Dragalge and Umbreon from that core Obsidian 4 making an appearance.
Yeah, and it's looking like we do get a return of the Water Spider that we just saw in round 1. And so that's good to see a Araquanid back, but I'm excited to see some Dragonair. I think Dragonair is one of the most beautiful Pokemon, and to see it in action always just makes me smile. So I'm excited that Lions Den chose to bring Dragonair. What Pokemon are you most excited to see this round?
Well, I'm also very excited for Dragonair. She was one of my stars in Evolution Cup as part of my double Dragon line. I ran Dragon Pulse on my Dragonair. I ran Body Slam Dragon Pulse, and that was fun catching some Dusclops napping.
Yeah,
Yes.
I can imagine.
Um, Bringing Defense Deoxys to a meta that has proven to be very popular for Pokemon like Umbreon and Sableye is a very bold gambit from Lion's Den. I will be very interested to see what she does with the Bulkymon. And of course, everyone's favorite SmackDown superstar, Crustle, is in there, probably to give the opposing Araquanid on Riblet's side a tough time, but Crustle's going to have to avoid Escavalier. It's going to have to avoid Dragalge. This is going to be a very interesting chess match between these two teams.
I totally agree. Let's go ahead and jump into the battles.
Heck yeah. And this is a lovely change from Obsidian where every team was the same. We get Sableye into Dragonair right off the bat. London, you get your wish. You get to see your Dragonair early.
I get to see this, and this is going to be quite the neutral matchup. These body slams from Dragonair are going to be resisted by Sableye, but the Dragon Breath and Aqua Tails won't. So let's just see what plays out here.
Yeah, the Sableye gets the foul play off first. It is shielded by Dragonair, and Riblet going into Dragalge. Lion's Den responds with her own Dragalge, so into the mirror, down a turn, and Lion's Den is going to fire first here, going to try and pull that shield back off of Riblet. No shield, and that's the proper call, London. It is just the Aqua Tail.
That's true. It is just an Aqua Tail, but being how much these Dragon Tails are doing, both Pokemon are clinging on to health. We get a no shield here on Outrage, and so we're going to win swap here with Riblet.
Yeah, that early shield that Lion's Den gave up, setting up Riblet for the outrage here to claim the mirror, and Araquanid is revealed as Lion's Den's final mon in this first game. She trying to get to that outrage, just falling short, gonna have to settle for an Aqua Tail chip here that I imagine this. Yeah, the Aqua Spider just laughed at that Aqua Tail.
It looks like the Aqua Spider was healed quite a bit from that. So.
That's it. I don't know if spiders can laugh, but I'm pretty sure I heard it laughing.
I agree. I heard something as well. All right, let's see what call this Sableye makes. Oh, a no Riblet. Riblet is such a gambler with those shields, and as we can see twice now, it has not paid off for this trainer.
Again, that Sableye paying the price on a bug move. This time, Araquanid doing the Gem Gremlin dirty. That Bubble Beam goes unshielded again, as this Escavalier going to try and build up to the Mega Horn, try and get rid of this Aqua Spider that resists so much of what Escavalier can do here. Mega Horn is enough to finally take it out, but now Dragonair with a bunch of energies here, London, and I mean, this is what you save the shields for, I guess.
This is exactly what you save those shields for, but I'm not quite sure 2 shields is going to be enough to save that Escav so that they can get to 2 drill runs. And as we, that beautiful Dragonair just does a beautiful farm down of Escav.
Yeah, Dragonair has the reputation as one of the only dragons really able to put the hurt on Escav, and it showed there. Lion's Den bouncing back from that 0-3 she took against Yurkowski with a win in game 1 here. And London, if you're Riblet, what do you do here against that Dragonair?
Well, I think the Sableye was the right call, but we have to start using our shields.
Shielding might be the play. Well, Araquanid doesn't need shields, and it gets Dragalge here on the lead. And Riblet instantly going to Escavalier to threaten those drill runs.
Yeah, and Escav is choosing to stay in for the time being, which is, we see a no shield here, not quite surprising. Aqua Tail will add up and will cause Dragalge to be, oh, here we go again. This is a replay. We have a Dragonair swap in, so it looks like Riblet is going to struggle to get to 2 moves here. Do you think that they'll make it?
This is going to be tough. We'll have to see. There's the early shield on Dragonair. It only needs a couple more. Ooh. No, it goes down with the drill run, and that is a ton of energy to lose.
That is on a ton of energy indeed. But we come back in here with Araquanid on the Dragonair. Now, what do you think about this matchup here? Who is it in favor of?
I have to imagine it's in favor of Dragonair. I mean, those body slams are getting shrugged off. This is where you'd like to have Dragon Pulse, kids. But
that is true.
This Araquanid is just so tanky, but it can't really do much back to Dragonair until it gets to that Bug Buzz, and you see Ryblet just trying to dig in and get to that move, finally able to fire it off with Araquanid in the red. Does Lion's Den shield this though?
Wow, no shield.
She doesn't.
All right, and then we see Ryblet here trying to get out and save Araquanid for later.
Yep.
So Dragalge versus this tank we call Umbreon here. Umbreon has an energy advantage, so this is good for Umbreon. But to get through a whole Dragalge and another Pokemon in the back is going to be a bit tough here.
Yeah, and we do see Lion's Den's third Mon come in, and I think it might have been the Umbreon as well. Yeah, it is. So we're going to be in this mirror for a little bit. London, how was your day?
Yes, insert resident sleeper here. We have two tanky Pokemon that are both behind at least one shield, so it's gonna take quite a while to see what happens here.
I bet I finish this bottle before this mirror finishes.
I agree. I think you will as well.
As we see the shield on the last resort here, Ryblet finally dropping a shield there in this mirror just to make sure it lasts a little bit longer for us, London, just allowing us to catch our breath a little bit.
Catch our breath and discuss all the events coming up from Pogo. We do see a swap here to Araquanid and try and do a little bit more fast move pressure, almost using it as a third shield here. I don't anticipate Ryblet will shield this.
No, and that bug bite damage is going to be helpful in the mirror. Ryblet's Umbreon has so much energy and going to fire off this last resort. You have to wonder if this will get the final shield out of Lion's Den. But Lion's Den also still has a very healthy Dragalge, and there it is. So
Dragalge has more than half health left. Back. This is going to be a difficult situation for Ryblet to overcome, but hey, I've seen stranger things happen when Umbreon has a lot of energy.
Yeah, I will channel Kevin Solidaris and say an Umbreon with energy is a dangerous thing, but this Dragalge already at the Aqua Tail, getting that final shield out of Ryblet. This foul play, unfortunately, coming from an Umbreon, not as powerful as when it comes from Sableye, and Dragalge able to stay alive and Dragon Tail down. Oh no, gonna throw it just for good measure, just to make sure Ryblet's not saving any shields from any previous matchups.
There you go. And as you can see, that Umbreon was tanky but could not survive that last Aqua Tail, so that's gonna be a win for Lion's Den.
Yeah, and a nice little bounce back performance here by the lady from Missouri, putting Ryblet down 2-0. Ryblet's got to try and find something here. Just after that throw against Zappa, you kind of feel he's shaking a little bit. What do you try and do if you have this kind of situation, London, where you take those early losses? How do you try and come back from it? This ain't it.
Well, you can only go up from there, right? So that's what I try and think is, well, we got the negative match away, make these last games positive. And as you mentioned, every point does count. So try and get a victory everywhere we can.
And do you see what I see in that back line, London? That Regirock. Sorry, I'm so used to Registeel. Regirock is here. Ryblet deciding to bring it out maybe for the surprise factor, as this Escaf gonna try and drill through the Dragonair. Shield up from Lion's Den. We've seen one shield on each side. This Dragonair does get to its move a little bit quicker than Escaf, though.
That is true, and Escaf is not going to be able to take this Aqua Tail, and it's going to faint. They're going to come in directly with their Dragalge, and we see an swap. Now, I find it interesting that Ryblet is actually staying in here. Oh, we see they get a lot of energy and then swap into that Regirock that's going to be able to hit Umbreon for super effective with those Focus Blasts.
I really like this play here. Lion's Den locking in her Umbreon, and this Regirock is just going to farm it into oblivion and just have so much energy for the rest of this battle. And we said Umbreon with energy is a dangerous thing. Regirock spams Stone Edges with just sheer disrespect. But we'll see this Focus Blast here try and knock out the Umbreon. We'll see if Lion's Den offers up her final shield.
Oh,
No!
wow, that Focus Blast does an incredible amount of damage to Umbreon, and as we can see, there's a no shield. I anticipate a lock on a farm down, but I'm quite sure Umbreon gets to a move before we can farm
No.
down, and it
No!
does.
That
Ooh,
is huge.
that is
I,
huge indeed.
oh, and Rydlet's gonna have to let it go. I thought it had it there, but Umbreon just able to endure long enough. But this is a very favorable matchup here with Araquanid in the back. Dragalge able to hit this Spooter with some hard-hitting dragon damage. This Outrage gonna come through. It does get the final shield out of Lion's Den, but Araquanid can't really do anything to Dragalge.
I agree, but at some point those shields will have to be with one Pokemon versus three, and that Bug Buzz does come and does quite a bit of damage considering. So this is putting the pressure on Ryblet here in this scenario.
Yeah, no defense drop on the Bug Buzz for Araquanid. That Outrage, still not enough to KO, but it does knock it out before it gets to the move. It still has a shield. Lion's Den has 2 Mons, but that Dragonair isn't going to want to take an Outrage, and that Umbreon was clinging to help. And Ryblet's going to go for the Aqua Tail here to get Dragonair out of the picture early.
This may be a win for Ryblet because I can't imagine it survives that, and then Umbreon has no energy. Oh, what a nice win. It was Dragalge the world, and the world did not win.
Dragalge showing why it was such a popular pick, and Obsidian just able to put the pressure on that Umbreon. Araquanid coming into the meta. Dragalge doesn't care. It welcomes the Water Spooter into its world, and Ryblet able to ride the Seaweed Dragon to a big point there. A 2-1 decision for Lion's Den 7-1-6, but, you know, Ryblet may have won the moral victory there by preventing the sweep.
Yes, I agree. That moral victory of being able to take on 3 Pokemon with 1 is absolutely incredible. Let's take a look at the scoreboard. Final Boss AJ, you want to update us on what we see here?
I sure can. Friends with a Z, a nice 2-1 victory over Yarkovsky there, showing that the APAC is not going to be letting the LATAM battlers have an easy path to claim those final 2 spots. And then a pair of 3-0s, big 3-0s. London, you know how important 3-0s are in factions. They are just as important here. Stone Collection picking up a 3-0 win over Roger Chen, and Zappa 3-0ing Hot Pocket. The Peoria champ is in trouble early with only 1 point to his name, London. I know we talked him up before the stream, but that's a rough start to try and overcome there for Hot Pocket.
I agree, but I have seen time and time again with these tournaments where you get knocked down early, and it does test the mettle of some of these trainers, but they come soaring back. So it'll be very interesting to see how some of these trainers take the momentum of their current wins and continue to ride that, as well as those that are currently knocked down, turning that into motivation to come back swinging as well.
Yeah, well, we'll dive right into round 3, the final round of the Obsidian meta here. And Zappa 9 coming off that dominant performance over Hot Pocket, going to get right back into it against Roger Chen 40. We saw Zappa in that first battle, and now we get to see Roger Chen's team. I like the Galvantula. Galvantula was a soft 5th pick in that core 4 for Obsidian. Roger Chen decided to bring it here, and it looks like it has a lot of play against Zappa's team.
Oh, I totally agree. And if one spider wasn't enough, you see that Roger Chen had to bring 2. So it'll be interesting to see how we pair these different spooters and make a really, really solid team. As you mentioned, Galvantula does have a lot of targets with Zappa's team. So it's interesting to see how this will play out.
Roger Chen bringing Dub Dragon, Dub Spider, Dub Wool, and the Cavaliers here too.
You could be you spitting bars right now. Love it.
Hey, when you want verses, you go to the white girl from Canada. That's what you do, right?
Yes, indeed.
Anyway, um, I'm excited to get right into this, London. I want to see that Galvantula. I want to see how Zappa tries to play around it because I think it's going to put a lot of pressure on that Sableye to kind of carry the day for Zappa if he wants to maintain his unbeaten record so far and get a perfect 3-0 in Obsidian.
Yeah, I agree. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it and see how these trainers turn these.
Heck yeah. We are riding along with Roger Chen, and Double draws Sableye on the lead. A dream matchup for the sheep here. And we do see Wild Charge instead of Payback. I love this.
Yes, but this actually makes this matchup a little bit trickier for the double, right? Because our big move here is going to debuff us and then make us really take those foul plays that are going to really hurt. So
Yeah.
it's a
And
very interesting situation here.
yeah, and Zappa actually called it there. No shielding the body slam, maybe daring Roger Chen to throw the payback. This foul play does take the double into the yellow. And another one's gonna come through here. I think double would actually survive it, but Roger Chen's gonna throw up the shield anyway to protect that energy.
I think this is a good play to shield this and then
Ooh,
swap out. We do
but
see
the
the
catch!
this on a Wormadam trash, if I'm not mistaken, right?
You
Very
are correct. You know you're Mandarin. Um, I believe that's Mandarin. It might be Cantonese. I do not know my Chinese characters. I apologize. But Araquanid's going to come in to meet Wormadam Trash here as the bug bites are flying faster than a bunch of camp kids going out there eating a bunch of bananas. I had my line there somewhere. Um,
We see Roger Chan throwing these debuffing moves onto this Wormadam trash, trying to just do as much debuff damage as possible so that its soft lose makes it easier to come in and farm down.
Yeah, and we see Roger Chen just going right for these bubble beams on the Wormadam trash. It's neutral and it's debuffing that worm, but it's going to be a matter of who gets this move first. And Roger Chen's gonna let the Araquanid go down here to what I have to assume is it is the Bug Buzz just to finish it off.
All right, and now we get to see the second spider. We Galvantula with energy is one of the worst Pokemon that you want to see. Galvantula going for this debuffing lunge here, which does a massive amount of damage to the double here.
And still no shields coming up from Zappa 9. Just gonna let the double just shake off that energy static cling in its wool. And just fire off these body slams on a very squishy Spooter.
Yes, and I didn't know exactly what move that was, so thank you for confirming that it was a body slam. It is going to be tough work here to get through this double, which has the ability to get to a lot of moves back to back, generating energy very quickly.
Yeah, and Roger Chen trying to eliminate it with his own double, but Zappa's sheep has the body slam as well, and we've seen it spam them out very quickly. Roger Chen's double shaking there, kind of knowing what is in store for it as that body slam going to knock it out here. And now Sableye returns. Galvantula going to get this lunge off to try and make these Shadow Claws hurt a little less, but I don't like the Spooter's chances here with no shields, London.
I don't either, and I see this is going to be 3 moves that are required from Galvantula, and as we can see, the Sableye to the foul play before Galvantula gets to a discharge, which is what I imagine we needed there to take out the Sableye.
Yeah, a 3-ball victory for Zappa 9 in game 1 as the Argentinian is looking like Lionel Messi out here, just dancing around opponents. And I ask you, London, if you're staring down Zappa the way he's been playing, if you're Roger Chen, you came in there with your double spiders. What do you do to try and combat that?
Well, it looks like, here we go into our next game. But it does look like Spooter is probably going to be better off in the lead, with being able to really debuff and swap and make moves, put pressure on Zapper very early in the game.
Yeah, and we see Zappa's double also running Wild Charge, so that move is off the table. Not that you'd be going for payback against Galvantula. You want that body slam spam. And double's actually going to get a second one off here. 3-turn double kick against 4-turn Volt Switch, working out in the Sheep's favor, and gets that early shield.
That's one thing about Galvantula is you have to before they get a move off. Otherwise, you almost always have to shield. As we can see, the Zappa is for Wild Charge, which would hurt so bad to Roger Chan. Does call the bait, and is a great shield on Roger's part.
Yeah, but now the Taiwanese player now shieldless going against Zappa, and there's a shield back from the Sheep as Zappa 9 building up here has the Wild Charge loaded. How much does this do, London?
It is going to do a lot. I imagine that the spider will be able to survive. Oh, wow.
Wow.
Arachnid took that move so well, doing just about half of its health.
Just a static shock from that wool sweater compared to some of the Wild Charges we've seen over the season in Great League. Wormadam Trash going to come in to nullify the bug damage and go for the Bug Buzz here to try and finish off Arachnid, and it will finish off the Water Spooter. And this is a tough spot for Roger Chen. You kind of have to come in double here, don't you?
Yeah, you kind of have to come in double, and you need to try and get off one of your big moves before and not get locked on CMP here.
Yeah,
it's going to be a tough situation with no shields available.
And you see Roger Chen just trying to build up to 2 Wild Charges, but Zappa 9, I think, saw it coming and dials up the Bug Buzz. And that does a fair amount to this Sheep, but keeps it alive. You saw the debuff there, and a catch.
Ooh, that was brutal there.
Oh, what an unfortunate twist of events for Roger Chen. Gets the debuff and gets caught with his hand in the cookie jar. Wormadam Trash.
It's not over yet. As we can see, Roger is getting off this Wild Charge and on our Galvantula. So this actually might turn out to be a win for...
Yeah. Well, this is looking good. That Galvantula has 100 energy, but now has a full health Sableye to try and deal with. It's going to get this first lunge off, but it only does about 40% to that Sableye, with the ghost typing saving it for massive damage.
Zappa's gonna... Whoa.
This is bold. He knows that Galvantula can't get to another move, and he does farm it down with Sableye, but he's got to have the move ready for that double, and he does, and Zappa's gonna pull this one out.
Yes, Zappa with another win here, with some definitely with some risky plays and things I wouldn't have done. You see, they have a shield remaining and such low health on that Sableye. Very risky, but this is when they say you must know your Pokemon.
And it's clear Zappa 9 knows his in the Obsidian meta. Just a dominating performance there. And looking to pick up another 3-0 here against Roger Chen. That would give Zappa 8 points in his first 3 matches, and that would be a very tough hill to overclimb. But we have sheep on sheep in the mirror here in London. So much wool gonna fly.
So much wool is gonna fly indeed, and this all boils down IVs, right? Who gets their moves off first? So let's just see how this plays out. We see Roger the first body slam here, while Zappa continues to build energy, which makes you wonder: is Zappa going to throw a debuffing out, or are they going to? It looks like we have a wild.
He did wild
CMP.
Big CMP here for Roger Chen. This should actually pull a shield away from Zappa if he wants to keep the sheep alive. He does want to keep it alive. And gonna try and double kick. Nope, swaps out, trying to keep it safe for later. Big wild charge here from Double, getting to it just before Wormadam Trash is able to take it out with Bug Bites.
Yes, and then we see a swap here, saving that 1 HP for a swap. We have Galvantula, and as Galvantula's going to the CMP here and gets off that discharge before one throw a move.
Yeah, and you have to. Oh, it does knock it out.
Does knock it
Ow.
out, and there's no shield utilized there, so that is a great. And we already know that the double has wild charge, so not too threatening here versus the guy.
Yeah, Nose Gal can take a body slam here, and these double kicks are resisted on the spider. And Roger Chen gonna throw up the shield here, just gonna try and farm down the double to have the energy on Galvantula for whatever Mon is in the back for Zappa as double is done. And it is the Sableye.
Okay, almost lost all that energy there, being stuck in that turn, those 4 turns. Galvantula is able to get off the the lunge, and now we have a rack Sableye, and this is going to be an easy victory here for the water spider.
Yeah, Araquanid loves Sableye, loves feasting on the gem gremlin here. The bubble beam isn't going to be shielded. I think Zappa knows that a twice the debuff Sableye is not going to do much. And Roger Chen avoids the 0-3, picks up a very valuable point there in game 3. Getting that grit score up, that's what you want to do, kids. Make sure your grit score is nice and high. But
exactly, don't ever, if you are in these situations and you lose those first 2 games, do not be dismayed. Every point counts, as our amazing host here, Final Boss AJ, has told us. Every point will count at the end of the match. So you want to try to secure every victory you can get, and that's what Roger Chan did at the end there.
Yeah, first point of the tournament for Roger Chen. He is on the board as we look at the scores in the other matchups here. Zappa not alone at the top. Franz with a Z takes down Lions Den 2-1 to remain tied at the top with the Argentine battler. Both have 7 wins. Meanwhile, Yurkowski prevents Stone Collection from joining them with a 2-1 win over the German battler. Yurkowski moves up into 3rd place and now has the tiebreaker advantage on Stone Collection, who also has 2 wins. And Hot Pocket struggles continue. Ryblet getting on the board with a 2-1 victory over the Peoria champ. Big win for Ryblet there after the struggles we saw in those first 2 matches. And Hot Pocket might be heading for the exits early here, London.
Well, as we said, it's not over until it's over. Can't count Hot Pocket out just yet. And as you mentioned earlier, this competition is very stacked, as we can see a couple of people right in the same running. And so now it's just boiling down to the next couple of battles here to see people start separating themselves from the rest of the pack.
I mean, I don't like to count anyone out, but it's really tough to come back when you lose your first 3. You need a lot of things to go right to have a shot at the finale. But if anyone can do it, Hot Pocket's got to be at the top of that list.
I agree.
Well, let's bid farewell to Obsidian. Let's put Obsidian in the past where it belongs.
You sound disappointed.
Oh, London. I know there are much better pastures ahead of us, much icier pastures, much more welcoming pastures.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to see Glacial Cup as well, and it'll be really nice to see your excitement. Nice. I too am a huge fan of Frostlass, so it makes my heart smile. Frostlass on my screen right now.
My girl is here. My girl is ready to go. And she brings her friend, a bomb of snow, as I spit more bars. Because, again, white Canadian girl rapping is apparently the theme of tonight.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
Glacial doesn't seem to have had a lot of changes from the first time here on either of these 2 teams. We see Hot Pocket making his first on-stream appearance, bringing that Dragonair, which does have Body Slam access now. But I'm not sure where it goes here. Hot Pocket running a pretty conventional Glacial team here with the Shadow Beedrill, Frostlass, Quagsire, Dragonair, Empoleon, and Abomasnow, as that Empoleon proved to be a nice wall against the Ice types. Roger Chen as brought the Ice Types, brought the Beedrill, and then gone with Swilus, regular Drapion, and Jirachi.
I am actually quite excited to see Jirachi play in this format. Jirachi is a Pokemon that I don't see too often enough, and so it'll be interesting to see how Jirachi navigates goes in the dark type.
Also, I see Riblet in chat. No Araquanid and Araquanid meta. Hello. No water spooters here. We saw enough of them in Obsidian. This is Ice's domain. Ice is gonna come in and just do what Ice do. As we saw in Salt Lake City this weekend, Ice do Ice things. And yeah. I'm actually going to be interested to see what Hot Pocket decided to run on that Abomasnow, because if it's a Razor Leaf Abomasnow, it doesn't have a lot of targets here. Maybe just that Frostlass, just giving it a shield and being able to knock it down. If it's on Powder Snow, it has a lot of play here. But,
and that's what I imagine that we will see ran here with, with needing to get to energy or moves fast this particular meta. I imagine that you're going to want to go for that really quick Powder Snow damage to get to those weather balls sooner than later.
I mean, you can ask Rise to Occasion how he handled my Razor Leaf Abomasnow and Glacial.
He didn't
Just
rise
saying.
to occasion, I imagine.
no, that felt good. I'm gonna bring that up every freaking time I can because it is one of my best wins in Pokemon Go. But we're not here to talk about me, London. We're here to watch these battlers go at it. So let's watch these battlers go at it.
I agree. Let's go ahead and get into the first battle. We see Roger Chen's Abomasnow. Quagsire. It's probably the worst thing Quagsire can see here. But Quagsire swaps out immediately into an Empoleon. And this is a very interesting situation for Roger, because if you look at the backlines here, this is probably going to be the best matchup for the Abomasnow.
Yeah, this is really interesting. Roger Chen's backline doesn't want to see Quagsire either, and Drapion's gonna make the catch here. That is a very nice catch to keep that Abomasnow alive. I think Roger Chen knows how important that Abama is gonna be for his chances of victory, London.
I agree, and I think the fact that this Drapion caught a Drill Peck and not a Hydro Can, very, very nice for Roger. I do believe that 2 crunches will take out this Empoleon, so we might start to see some more shields being used in the next couple moments.
Yeah, and you see Roger Chen has Crunch and Sludge Bomb on this Drapion, maybe thinking having it as the Abomasnow counter. Got to get to this Crunch quick, and does get there.
Get there indeed, and so Empoleon is going to have to decide if it wants to farm down or if it wants to farm down. And as we can see, they decide to come in and farm down with Quagsire. Now, Abomasnow is going to have to watch out because Quagsire does have access to a Stone Edge, which will be doing super effective damage to the Abomasnow.
Also has access to Sludge Bomb, but I think the Stone Edge is most likely, and we see it shielded on Roger Chen's side. Big shield. And that's the matchup he wanted. Shadow Beedrill in the back for Hot Pocket, but Jirachi is here to wreck that Beedrill's day. Can it survive a drill run, though?
I don't think a Jirachi is going to be able to survive. It does with HP, but that's about that. Going to be devastating for the Abomasnow to have to take these poison jabs and to try and get rid of this Beedrill.
Yeah, that might actually have been the worst case scenario, it being alive, but Hot Pocket not shielding the Beedrill, gonna put it all on Quagsire, hoping that it gets that Stone Edge before Abama can get to a Weather Ball and Energy Ball. Roger Chen just gonna go for the Energy Ball here, but wisely.
In this high-stakes situation, you have just one chance to make the right call, and it looks like Hot Pocket made the right decision, knowing that Roger Chen would not be able to get to 2 energy balls here. So this was a good play on both trainers' side. Good job, Hot Pocket.
Yeah, that was a big run for that Empoleon there from Hot Pocket, just being able to wall off Roger Chen's entire team almost. it clearly decided that battle with Roger having to spend both shields just to get it out of the way and protect the Obama Snow. And it left that poor Jirachi wide open for that drill run. We'll see how he responds in game two. This time Jirachi on the lead against Quagsire.
Quagsire in the lead again from Hot Pocket, and Roger wants to see. We see a swap into Swallows, which is met by Shadow Beedrill. As you can see, these poison jabs and these dragon breaths are coming in quite hot here. Who do you think has the advantage with this particular matchup?
Well, they're both going to be quick to those charge moves. We see Roger Chen building up here, but that Beedrill's X Scissor is such a threat that you have to like its ability to just chew through this wireless. But no, choosing not to shield here, going to take shield advantage here and let Quagsire come in to build up some energy.
Very interesting play on the part of Hot Pocket to not shield the Beedrill there. And to try and farm down as while taking so many dragon breaths here. But let's see what Roger decides to do. And he decides to let the body slam go, or excuse me, the stone edge go. My apologies.
Yep, Swilus is done, but now Roger Chen gets to align Obama Snow on this Quagsire, and I see why Pocket just let Beedrill go with Jirachi on Roger Chen's side, knowing that a drill run wasn't going to get through a second time. But here comes the final shield on Roger Chen's side on that Stone Edge from Quagsire. These rock moves are just threatening everything Roger Chen is trying to do here and going for the energy ball right off the bat, London.
Yes, because right at this point, you don't have a lot of time to play games. You need to get that move off because Quagsire has
oh, there's the catch!
Major catch by Roger onto the Jirachi and catch resisted Stone Edge. Wow, good play.
A huge catch, but again, the steel penguin in the back there. Stone Edges are the least of Roger Chen's problems. You see him desperately trying to find the dazzling gleam and fire it off here, just trying to get anything on this Empoleon.
Well, it does quite a bit of damage, and here is where it gets tricky because the drill peck is not going to KO the Obama Snow. So Obama Snow is going to need two moves. The question is, will Obama Snow get there? Will we get there? I think there.
No, Empoleon has two of them.
Yes.
You said Pocket needed two, London. Pocket had two, and Obama Snow is gonna go down.
Yeah. Very, very, very nice catch there, but unfortunately, just based on the Empoleon being in the back, it was really not valuable for that to happen.
Yeah, and this was one of the tenets of Glacial. If you did not have something that dealt directly with Empoleon, you were in for a bad time. It's why Poliwrath had a lot of play in Glacial, just for the sheer ability to punch that penguin in the face. So
all right. And here we go, another not so great matchup for Roger Chan here, going against an Empoleon, and we see a counter swap in own Frost versus Roger's Wilos here.
I see my girls.
Yes.
I see my girls. I'm very happy, but this is a tough matchup for Frostlass. These Dragon Breaths are going to do so much, London, and it comes down to calling a bait.
Exactly, and as you said, you get very happy when you Frostlass, but I can reassure you that Wilos does not. It does not want to take these super effective powder snow damage as well as the avalanche, which would probably just one shot here. Saw a little bit of lag, but it looks like it was mutual.
Yeah, and you saw Roger Chen going for that second body slam to put the pressure on Pocket, instead having to shield the avalanche here. And now the body slam goes through. That is tough for Roger Chen.
Yes.
Losing that CMP event, one more Dragon Breath will put Frostlass down, but Roger Chen spent both shields, and Empoleon is here again.
And Empoleon with energy against this backline is going to cause quite the problem, especially being that Roger Chan does not have shields. So it'll be interesting to see how we are able to get out of this situation, if we are able to get out of it at all.
I was about to say, London, you're worried about Empoleon with no shields. I'm worried about Frostlass with shields, and here, oh no, it's Beedrill. Beedrill's the third.
Yes.
Um,
And this
yeah,
looks like a terrible situation. And it is because with no shields, that Shadow Beedrill is going to put in a ton of work with these drill runs, almost completely taking out the Frostlass. Frostlass throwing an avalanche, but it's not going to land because Hot Pocket has saved two shields, not for the next match, but for this Frostlass.
well, yeah, and you know, if you can't give your shields to Frostlass, Beedrill is also a very acceptable recipient of those shields. This Exeter should be enough
This
to
X is
knock.
going to KO a tree of Obama here,
Yeah,
so goodbye,
yeah,
Obama Snow, and good job to Hot Pocket on that win.
yeah. Beedrill looking like a scyther chopping down that tree. Hot Pocket gets a 3-0 sweep from Roger Chen, and just a tough team to face for Roger Chen. I love seeing Jirachi. I love seeing Drapion. But as was noted in chat, you can only use Jirachi if your name is Ventusky. If not, it will go wrong. And it did for Roger Chen 40.
And one
As
thing I want to say really quickly here is as I look at teams again, I see that the answer for the Empoleon, even Obama Snow is going to have to land three energy balls, or excuse me, throw three energy balls, or, because
yeah.
that neutral damage is just not going to be enough to take out Empoleon. So Empoleon at this point is a huge problem for Roger Chan to face.
Yeah. Also, I see the Polygraph one in chat. I'm with you. I agree. That's why Polygraph was such a nice pick in Glacial, just to have something against that Empoleon. Let's go to the standings here after 4 rounds. We'll have one more round of Glacial after this, but just turning to the other matches in the group. Again, Ryblet, he's charging back 2-1 against Franz with a Z. So Franz taking their first loss of this tournament. Zappa, however, just keeps rolling, 3-0ing Yurkowski. Argentina smashing Chile there. Zappa alone at the top of the leaderboard, and then Stone Collection picking up a 2-1 win over Lion's Den. So as we look at this table, London, Zappa seems to be well in control. But that loss there that Franz with a Z took against Ryblet could be costly for the Filipino player as Stone Collection now gets let back in. And Ryblet and Yurkowski are now lurking.
Yes, and as you mentioned, every point is counting here, and as Zappa is really accruing those points, and that is separating them from the rest of the trainers in the rest of these 8 trainers that are left in the competition.
Yeah, and we just we see the marks there on the standings. That means those players have not faced each other, so they're in a dead heat right now. There is no tiebreaker between those two opponents. I believe if we really had to, it would go to well, no, because they would face all the similar opponents. So yeah, deadlocked heat between those battlers for that second spot. Reminder: top 2 get to go to the final 8 and battle for that $1,000 cash prize.
And the final 8 will be on the 22nd, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
I believe, yeah, it will be on the Silph Arena channel. And we do have.
Will be on the 22nd, confirmed by our amazing background host Fish. Thank you so much for that.
Fish on a heater, with the fastball, with the correct info for us lowly broadcasters.
All right,
yeah.
we have one last battle here in Glacial Cup. Am I correct?
We do indeed, and we are going to get to see Stone Collection versus Franz with a Z. Those two battlers we just mentioned tied for second. They're going to duke it out here in Glacial. Still no Polygraph, much to the dismay of of the chat, but we do see a much stronger Empoleon counter from Franz with a Z, bringing that Whiscat. This is a completely different set of teams we're seeing here, London.
I totally agree with you, AJ. It looks like we're looking at a different meta, but it is still Glacial. I am excited for the first time. Wish, Bronzong, and Melodic. And Gyarados, Shadow Gyarados. It is going to be. Oh, we even have a Malamar here. So it looks like we have quite a few new Pokemon that we're going to be showcasing here in this last round of Glacial.
I will say I was surprised we didn't see Milotic in any of our Obsidian battles. I really liked Milotic there, just being able to hit Dragon types with that Dragon Tail, but it also did very well in Glacial. So Franz with a Z turning to the more beautiful cousin of Gyarados, while Stone Collection going for the Furious Rage of the Kanto original with Shadow Gyarados as well, and Shadow Politoed. So
yeah, that shadow damage is definitely going to be interesting to see how it plays out with these matchups. So let's get right into it.
Let's go. That Malamar is such a nice pick on Stone Collection side, but instead, Whiscash on Empoleon, a huge win in the lead for Franz.
Yes, definitely indeed. And we see that swap in Gyarados. Gyarados is not going to enjoy these powder snows or these neutral weather balls here. Gyarados is quite strong, but very glassy in the Great League. So taking this weather ball is probably going to knock out.
Yeah, we see that early shield there on the first weather ball from this Shadow Abomasnow that Franz with a Z has brought into the party in game one. Abomasnow gonna give the shield back on an Aqua Tail, but it charges moves so quickly, London, it's already at this next weather ball.
Yes, and even though you have to shield the weather with the shadow damage, it is necessary for you to shield these moves because Abomasnow is going to be quite glacier being that shadow version. And now we have Frostlass coming in here, and we know Frostlass energy is scary, but Franz is able to get to that energy ball, and this would do a massive amount of damage if it goes unshielded by Stone Collection. And it really one-shots. Whoa.
Oh, no.
Definitely.
Oh, my poor girl cannot take that shadow energy ball. And Milotic's just in to soak up the energy. Whiscash meets Empoleon, and that was a hit that Stone Collection could not afford to take. This Whiscash just gonna bury this penguin in mud bombs, London. And you can shield that, but this isn't good.
Yeah, this is not looking too good for Stone Collection at all. Even if the Whiscash chose to not shield, this Hydro Cannon, this Mud Bomb would do quite a bit of damage, and Melodic in the back will be able to finish off here.
Yeah, that Mud Bomb does so much to Empoleon. We saw it just be a stalwart for Hot Pocket in the previous battle. Whiscash laughing at it here. The mud shots get it down very deep into the red, but this Hydro Cannon will knock out. Or no, it was undercharged.
It was an intentional undercharge there, looking for the win con where it just didn't seem to want to be found. And this Whiscash does get to that last Mud Bomb KO in that Empoleon, and Melodic is going to be able to take out the Frostlass.
Yeah, I was going to say, not on a CMP event, there's no win con there. And Franz with a Z able to pick up a W to go with it there in game one against Stone Collection. Just a really tough lead for the German to battle back from, with Whiscash on Empoleon just did not have a way to get alignment in his favor. What do you think we see here in game two from Stone Collection, London?
Well, I definitely don't. Oh, as we can see, we have the Abomasnow into the Malamar. This matchup is a pretty neutral matchup. Abomasnow is going to have to watch out for those superpowers. We see a swap in by Franz to Melodic, which seems to be a really nice safe swap for this team.
Yeah.
And a no shield. So going to take that superpower, and then Malamar is going to dip into Empoleon here.
Yeah, a nice response for the Milotic here from Stone Collection, having that Empoleon ready to go to soak up all the damage this Milotic is gonna throw. And we saw Franz go with a softer counter to that Malamar with Araquanid just sitting on the bench waiting for its opportunity. This Milotic gonna try and just chip away at the Penguin here, but the Penguin is a lot more resilient to water damage than it is to mud damage.
Yes, but as you can see here, that Melodic definitely did put in a lot of work. This this Empoleon is going to lead this matchup with a lot of energy. The Abomasnow chooses to no-shield the first Drill Peck. But let's see if the Empoleon is already at 2, and it is. So we probably see a shield here.
Yeah, I think Franz has to keep that Abomasnow alive if he wants a shot at this. We do see that first shield, and Frostlass is in the back, and Araquanid gonna come in. Everything is resisted here on fast move wise, London, but Araquanid doesn't want to take Shadow Balls from Frostlass.
Araquanid is equipped to, it is very tanky, but Frostlass is very attack heavy, and those Shadow Balls will definitely add up. So it is a good play here by Franz to debuff the Frostlass before we have to take one of those Shadow Balls to the face.
Yeah, and that's the key with Araquanid, using that shield early, making sure you take the debuff damage here in the back end, but this Frostlass just content to lean on the shadow side here to deal with this water scooter. Franz just firing off bubble beams with reckless abandon, trying to debuff any amount of attack that he can on this Frostlass, but the girl just standing tall here and escapes with energy, setting the debuffs here.
Well,
and he catches!
Nice catch here by Franz on the Abomasnow, going to catch the Avalanche here. Oh, the Shadow Ball, actually. Wow. Okay,
Yeah,
so
no
if there was
chance.
ever a chance here it is debuffing that Frostlass with his ball.
No.
Do you think Franz is going to be able to get to be able to take this victory?
Well, it depends how quickly Stone Collection threw that energy. He doesn't have enough. And now Malamar is just gonna eat all these bug bites, London. It's just a matter of, can Araquanid do enough damage to this Malamar? And can it tank a foul play? That's gonna be the question. It's in the red. This Malamar is debuffed. Is foul play gonna be enough to slay the spider?
And it looks like
it's not.
But as we can see, this Malamar is able to cycle. That was a very nice game. Looking for win cons in all the right places. It just was a tough matchup for. It was just going to be a tough matchup there.
So Malamar's Araquanid counter confirmed.
Indeed.
Much to the dismay of chat. But yeah, a big win for Stone Collection there. I love bringing in the Malamar. You stare into that Araquanid's face and say, I am not scared to bring the Squid Game to you, my friend.
No, and then we see a replay of that matchup here. Frostlass into Franz's Araquanid. And Araquanid and Frostlass both deciding to stay in. Frostlass is going to outpace that first charge move. And so now we need to see if we're going to get a shield. But we don't. We don't get a shield on these shadows.
Yeah. And no shield on that first Shadow Ball. And we see the backline as Franz is running triple water in this game 3.
Bug Buzz here. So no attempt to debuff the Frostlass first. A Bug Buzz. Okay. Yeah. Interesting play there.
Frostlass doesn't have to shield a Bug Buzz. It's one of the few things she can tank, a resisted Bug Buzz. And Araquanid is going to throw up a late shield on the Shadow Ball, the Filipino battler, giving up the first shield. And now Empoleon's going to come in to be met by this Whiscash. And it's a little friendlier for the Penguin with shield advantage, but not by much, London.
Not by much, because Whiscash is going to spam out those Mud Bombs and get to those Mud Bombs quickly. We do see a no shield by the end. Stone Collection is going to want to come in with Frostlass versus Whiscash.
Yeah.
Do we think that Empoleon will get to another move before the Whiscash?
This is going to be a tough rate, and Franz just gonna fire the Mud Bomb, doesn't even want to give the Empoleon that option of winning the race without spending a shield. And Empoleon does go down here, so Franz with a Z, shieldless, and knows that a Frostlass with 2 shields awaits on the side of Stone Collection, but instead Shadow Gyarados coming in to laugh off this ground damage.
Yes, laughing off indeed. And I was expecting the Blizzard there, but we see a bait attempt here with Mud Bomb, and we do get a shield. We do get a shield here. Wow.
That is a big shield to get for Franz with a Z, opening some doors here. Gonna go for the Bubble Beam to try and debuff this Gyarados, but no shield there. And these Dragon Breaths are still gonna hurt. Really tough to take the sting out of a Dragon Breath here. And this Gyarados looks primed to take out the Araquanid.
And we do get a crunch here. I was afraid a Aqua Tail would KO. We have a Melodic full health here, and also a Wish Cash that is clinging. So let's Franz decides to do it. We get an immediate swap here.
Yeah, big swap there for Stone Collection, resetting the Gyarados' attack, making it a fairer fight here. But this Milotic already at a Surf, and Gyarados, as you mentioned, London, so paper and greatly, can it even take a Surf?
It cannot, not really well, but we see here that Melodic has a bulk, and I do believe that this crunch is going to land, but it won't be enough to take out this Melodic before Melodic gets to another move here.
Yeah, you see, the crunch got the debuff, but Milotic is at the Surf, and that is going to be enough. As Fran says in the chat, the farm it got off Frostlass so huge, letting it get to that second move to take out Gyarados, and Franz with a Z able to defeat Stone Collection. A big win for the Filipino battler here, as Franz with a Z moves into sole possession of second place, and in a round robin where only 2 places are paid. That is so huge, London.
That is huge indeed. Those battles were really intense. It was amazing to watch you get excited about your ice type champion. So nice time there. Nice time.
I mean, it's tough when you know Empoleon's there and can just shut down basically everything, but I thought it was very well managed there by Franz with a Z, working around that Empoleon, getting the Whiscash into positions to succeed was key in that victory, and putting it into second place. Still in second though, because Zappa 9 cannot be stopped at the moment, getting the 2-1 win over Lion's Den to still sit undefeated atop the round robin standings. Stone Collection falls back into third place in a tie with Riblet, who got the 2-1 win over Roger Chen. So after starting out 0-2, Riblet has rattled off 3 straight wins to sit 1 win back of Franz with a Z in second place. And then Hot Pocket just dominating Yurkoski in Glacial, picking up a 3-0 win. That could be it for the Chileans' dreams there. Both Yurkoski and Hot Pocket need a lot to go right to have a shot at that final 8th berth.
Well, as we discussed earlier, it is never too late for any of these trainers to bounce back. As we said, every point counts, and as you saw, Riblet really struggled the first two rounds, but here we are climbing, as well as Hot Pocket, who also wasn't doing so well in the first 2 battles and making his way back up the ranking. So again, it is never too late to come out swinging.
I see some Riblet hype in chat, surprisingly from Riblet. So, hey, you gotta hype yourself before you hype anyone else. So I love it, Riblet.
Indeed.
Let's go on. We are leaving Glacial behind, sadly. Hopefully we get to see it again someday. But London, we are going to move into our final meta, and this is the team builder one. This is Brawler Cup. I'm really excited to see what these trainers bring. And Zappa is going to be in action. We get to see if he stays undefeated against Franz with a Z, first against second London. And look at the teams we have here.
First against second is going to guarantee that these battles are very intense. I'm looking at the meta here, trying But I'm excited to see Tropius. I'm excited to see Ninetales. Those are two Pokemon that I know you have to really be a top tier battler to really make Tropius perform. And so I'm really excited for this.
Yeah. I love seeing that Steelix Ninetales core from Zappa 9. He's coming after my heart. That's again, that core was so good for me in Brawler, and Steelix got that buff since Brawler with the addition of Psychic Fangs to its arsenal. Friends with Aziz Machamp actually has to watch out for that now.
It
Um,
does, and Machamp being Shadow is not going to appreciate a psychic. So it's going to be interesting to see if the Machamp can find play because there doesn't seem to be a lot of targets on Zappa's team, but there are some. So it's going to be interesting to see.
yeah, that double counter strategy from Franz might not find a home against Zappa with both Tropius and Kafagrigus on the side. Kafagrigus was another great pick in Brawler. I have a rank 1 Kafagrigus, so
Oh,
I greatly
congratulations!
enjoy
We
it.
know that your Copagricus is putting in major work.
Oh yeah, she's a good girl. Um, I'm sorry, France with Aziz lightweight pick isn't going to see a lot of play because I would be interested to see how Jumpluff fares with that Fairy Wind edition being able to get to those hard hitting energy balls and acrobatics. I just don't think it has a target here, so I don't think we're going to see Jumpluff. But yeah, I think the coffin play of both these battlers is going to be key. And if Franz is going to bring those counters, then Zappa's going to have to keep that Steelix away. Maybe benches the Steelix, just goes Coffin, Tropius, Ninetales in cast form, just to dare Franz with a Z to bring one of those counter users in.
Well, we're going to jump into the battles, but I am almost guaranteed to tell you that we will see Jumpluff. I see there could be a lot of play here, so I'm hoping on, and we do see some Jumpluff action here.
I mean, I could be wrong. These guys are in the Silph finals, and I am not. But we see Coffin in the lead against Ninetales, and it is an Ember Ninetales London. Cindy's influence at play.
Yes, at play indeed, and we see that these embers are doing quite a bit of damage. But we have Franz getting to a shadow ball and going straight forward. A no shield and quite a bit of damage to that Ninetales.
Yeah, non-Shadow Ninetales can take a hit, but it still did not want any part of that Shadow Ball. Coffin's going to throw up the shield, and you are right, London. We do see the Jumpluff in the back for Franz with a Z as Tropius comes in. It is on Air Slash, so it's going to be able to pump those Leaf Blades out a little quicker, but Tropius doesn't want to take a Shadow Ball any more than Ninetales did.
I agree, and I think it took a while for France to swap out to see what they want the strategy here to be, and it does look like both trainers are going to be taking super effective damage from these flying type attacks. The difference is Tropius's flying type attacks don't hit quite as hard as the ones coming from Jumpluff. So let's see how this plays out.
Yep. Aerial Ace, well known to be a terrible garbage move that unfortunately is relied upon very heavily by some of the favored flyers. This Jumpluff's going to go for the acrobatics, though. That Community Day move on the Cottonweed Pokemon, hoping to find a hit here on Tropius, and it does, and it not quite a knockout, but the Fairy Wind gets there.
Yes, you saw that. You just did see exactly what you thought. Tropius surviving a powerful, super effective acrobatics. Then we have Ninetales come in to get a little bit of, and an energy ball KOs the Ninetales. So we have Kofa on Zappa's side remaining.
That Ninetales going out with its tails between its legs, losing to a Jumpluff. But now Coffin has to try and take out its counterpart on the other side and a full health Steelix.
Yes, and I'm actually quite surprised at that no shield there. Being that you have a debuff move, I probably would go with some of these debuffs. And then also protect the Steelix, knowing that I can tank the moves on the Steelix better than on the Kofa.
Yeah, and you saw the no shield there from Zappa 9. Had to hope that Kofagrigus could survive a Psychic Fangs, and instead, Franz with a Z just throwing that crunch. And that will do it in that opening round. Franz with a Z taking game one. And I don't know, London. Is this it? Is this where the unbeaten run ends for Zappa 9?
Well, this if there's anybody equipped in this tournament, it does look like France is going to be the one to be able to do it. We have France leading into a nine-tails is both Pokemon doing neutral damage here. Vigoroth is known to be super spammy. And what an amazing catch by Zappa, catching the resisted body slam onto the Kofa Grigas here. What do you think about that play there?
That is a big catch there on Coffin, and it draws Steelix out. We actually see the exact same team from Zappa 9 here in game 2 that he lost in game 1 with. The Mind Games coming in, and you can see Franz in chat just beside himself that game 2 is being shown. Felix gonna eat that Shadow Ball and try and crunch away at this Coffin that's already taken a huge advantage for Zappa 9 with that body slam catch.
That is true indeed. And we see a Zappa side, Franz able to get swap here. And the question is, what do we see come in? And it looks like we see Ninetales come in.
Gotta be the Ninetales with Air Slash revealed on that Tropius. So these Weather Balls they are going to be enough to take out Steelix. The ground typing not giving any resistance to fire damage. And Vigoroth's going to come back in, going to try a second time to connect this body slam onto Ninetales. And this time it is successful, but Ninetales able to take that hit, and Tropius enters the field.
And Tropius does enter the field versus Franz Kofa. And this is a very, as we saw, Tropius is super able to really tank some of these moves, but at this point, both being the last Pokemon here on last full health Pokemon, we're going to start to see these Protect Shields being enabled.
Yeah, and this is gonna be tough. It's gonna come down to timing, London. Both these Pokemon get to their charge moves at about the same rate, but Tropius' Leaf Blade just a little bit quicker than the Arsenal Cofagrigus has the throw at its opponents. We see another Leaf Blade coming, another shield from Franz with a Z, trying to keep the Coffin alive, paradoxically, giving it the Ghost type.
Yes, and I do, exactly, I do. It's going to be about timing, making sure that these moves are not caught. If caught, it's going to be devastating from either trainer. So as we see both of them try and line up their moves so that they're throwing in the middle of charge, the fast attacks, making sure their opponent cannot swap out and catch these moves here.
And both swap at the same time here, but this Ninetales has energy. It has a Weather Ball here, London. I don't think this is going to be enough to put Vigoroth down, but it's going to be close to out.
It is here, but we want to give it as little farm as possible. And no moves were thrown. What happened there?
Franz got greedy, went for the full farm down and didn't get there, and Ninetales gonna be able to take out Coffin, and that is tough to take. Franz with a Z had Zappa on the ropes and just didn't pull the trigger in game 2, and we are tied.
Just took an L from Zappa due to that, and that is really hard to have a lot of those nowhere. So big misplay there.
That is brutal. Well, we'll see how Franz with a Z comes back here. That is not the way to do it. Steelix against Ninetales is rough, and we actually see the Unovan Stunfisk in the back line for Franz as well. We didn't mention the Unovafisk in our pregame here, but Coffin's going to come in and take some damage from this Ninetales.
Yes, and Ninetales softening up the Coffin before the fellow Cofagrigus comes in, and being that the Franzes already have a lot of energy, this fellow Coffin is going to have to shield.
Yeah, first shield.
It's going to come out with a lot of energy, which most likely will get the shields back from Franz.
Yeah, and it actually knows it could take a Dark Pulse, but both shields gonna come up anyway from Zappa 9, just choosing to protect this coffin with all this energy. And now Unova Fisk hits the battlefield for the first time here in game 3. No shield from Franz with a Z, just gonna let the pancake take that Shadow Ball topping and build up some energy here. But here comes the second move out of Kaffa Grigus, and that is going to get the shield out of France with a Z.
Yes, even though Unova Stunfisk is tanky, it's not tanky enough to take 2 Shadow Balls. So we do see that Protect Shield. And now we see France going for a Mud Bomb here. I'm wondering if there is going to be a swap here. Oh,
This is an interesting play. Steelix is going to take the hit from Kaffa Grigus. I don't know if I would have done this, London. I think I would have given up the shield and gone for the farm down with Unova Fisk.
well, as we can see here, that Ninetales does come back in doing super effective Ember damage or fire damage to this Steelix. See this going for the crunch. I'm assuming for the chance at a debuff here, and we don't get it. So it's fire versus steel.
Yeah. And as someone who's not a fan of either type, being the Queen of Ice, I would love to see mutually assured destruction here, which I'm getting. But that shield from Steelix and the Psychic Fang should be enough to actually knock out the Ninetales here. And this is going to be interesting. What is Zappa's third?
Oh,
It lived!
Survives. That is really brutal, being able to connect with this Steelix and KO, meaning there's just one Pokemon left for Franz versus Atropius, and this is probably as bad as it can get.
I wrote that Ninetales off, but for the second straight matchup, it lives with 1 HP and delivers a vengeful Weather Ball. And this Stunfisk has nowhere to go. Tropius gonna plunge the Leaf Blade into its heart. And Zappa 9 goes to 6-0 with the win over Franz with a Z.
And that was our first and second battler there. And just to be able to those super intense plays just kind of showcases the level of talent in these battles. Really well played for both trainers.
Yeah, and you can do the math. 6 wins, definitely enough in a 7-match system to assure Zappa 9 will be in our final 8, and the Latin American region will have a representative at the table as the Argentine goes through. And look who is in second place, London, after 2 losses on stream to start the night. Ryblet 3-0'd Stone Collection to move into second place.
This is an incredible clawback for Ryblet, who, as we said, had lost the first 2 matches tournament and has been showcasing how if you can look up, you can definitely get up, because Ryblet has definitely been climbing from the bottom of this bracket all the way close to the top. Nice to see.
In the words of my compatriot from Canada, Ryblet started from the bottom and now he's in second place.
And now he's in second place, indeed.
Elsewhere in the group, Lion's Den ends any shot for Hot Pocket at advancing with a 2-1 victory. Both Americans are eliminated from advancing, and Yurkowski stays alive with a 2-1 win over Roger Chen, who's had a tough time falling to 0-6, but this is where we're gonna be. Entering the final round of Brawler, 4 battlers have a chance to grab that second spot alongside Zappa 9. Ryblet is in the driver's seat with the tiebreaker advantage over Franz with a Z. Both battlers are going to be looking for a win. Stone Collection and Yurkowski also technically alive, but Yurkowski is going to need a 3-0 victory and some tiebreakers to go his way in order to get that second spot and join his fellow Latin American battler in the final 8. And I believe, London, our final match on stream is going to show exactly that battle your Koski faces as Rydlet returns. Is the third time a charm for the Washington Battler on stream? We will find out. But your Dragonair is back, London.
Oh, I am loving the Pokemon that I'm seeing here in the Ridley versus Yurkowski matchup. I mean, we are seeing Surfetch for the first time today. Surfetch is one of the fan favorites in GBL, being able to really handle all of those steel types, some water types, and some ghost types. So I'm really, really excited to
I
Surfetch.
I really like Rydlet's team here. I mean, completely different from what we saw in Brawler Cup back in November. Um, you see the Coffin. The Coffin is ubiquitous as that fourth slot pick, but Jumpluff is here. We saw Jumpluff get in some action in our previous battle. Dragonair is here. Surfetch is here. Lapras is here instead of Steelix. And as we saw in Salt Lake City this weekend, a Lapras is a dangerous thing. Just ask Khaleesi Fitzy's opponents. And
Yes, indeed. And a shout out to Khaleesi, who did an exceptional job. Her father throughout the competition. But that Lapras is looking quite strong here. Other than that Shadow Champ, Lapras does look to be able to do really well versus Yurkowski's team. So I do anticipate seeing that Lapras brought almost every game.
yeah. So here's the situation. If Ryblet beats Yurkowski, Ryblet will get the second spot. He has the tiebreaker over Franz with a Z. So it is all to play for Ryblet here. A 2-1 will punch his ticket into the final 8. Yurkowski needs a 3-0 win to have a shot at this. He will get the tiebreaker over Ryblet, but then needs Franz to get 0-3'd in his battle against Hot Pocket, which it's Hot Pocket, so it's definitely possible. And then needs Stone Collection to, I believe, only get a 2-1 against Zappa to have a shot at this. But the math is there. Yurkowski knows what he needs to do. It's just a matter of if he can do it. And London, let's just find out. I think we can only tee it up so much.
Yes, we can only tee it up, and that we're going to allow the talent for both of these battlers speak for itself. So let's go ahead and jump into the matchup of Ryblet versus Yurkowski.
Let's go.
As we can see here, our Dragonair leads into the Knockdown, and this is going to be a pretty neutral matchup for both opponents. Knockdown being a little bulkier than Dragonair, but definitely taking a lot of the Dragon Breath damage, which is adding up quite fast.
Yeah, and this is actually exactly what Ryblet wants to see Noctowl with Double and Kafagrigus in the back. I mean, unless that Double is still rocking Wild Charge, the Dragonair is the best option to fight off this Owl, and these body slams are going to be key as the first one goes through, second one immediately being spammed out by the Dragon.
And I imagine a no-shield here. Seems an easy no-shield on the part of Yurkowski. And let's see what Yurkowski really.
Oh, it is the big, bulky Steel Snake as Steelix hits the pitch. But now Double gets to come in and fire these double kicks immediately. And we do see payback on Double, so it can hurt this Steelix if it wants to.
And that was a charge move priority event there. Double winning that CMP, being able to get off this payback, and a shield from the Steelix. That is a huge indicator that Double has major play in the back. Yeah. We also have the shield from Ryblet, and it's a psychic thing, so we are going to be debuffed on the side of Ryblet.
Yeah, it might be a big tell there that it could be Greedent lurking in the back, which that Kafagrigus does not want to see either. But this second payback is going to be shielded again here.
Yes, and it looks like Yurkowski is doing everything in his power to stop. Oh, and we see an Earthquake, which does KO the Double. And now we have Steelix trying his best to get that debuff off before it swaps.
Yeah,
and final Pokemon.
Yeah, see Steelix trying to get the debuff on with that Psychic Fangs. It did reveal no crunch, and Max also brings up a great point. It could be Coffin Mirror as well. It didn't want to see double either. But this Shadow Ball from Coffin Grigus should be enough.
And that would make sense why we haven't seen a swap out yet. And we do
Yeah,
see the last Pokemon being a Kofa, and being that we have an most likely gonna be a dub
yeah,
for
you did
Rival.
cut out there a little bit, London, but that Shadow Ball just translates throughout the silence. And Coffin beats Coffin, and Ryblet takes game one and officially eliminates Yurkowski from the championships. So now Yurkowski can only play spoiler. A 2-1 win was not going to be enough. So one win here for Ryblet in game two. And the Washington native becomes the second of our two battlers to go into the finals, and double on Greedent's a great way to start that matchup, London.
Absolutely, and Greedent being one of my most disliked Pokemon ever, it looks so good to see that super effective title popping up as these low kicks are coming in hot against this Greedent. We're gonna see Rivalry here building up quite a bit of energy before throwing this body slam. I'm assuming as a bait for the Greedent.
Yeah, has already revealed payback on this double, but the double kick body slam damage is going to be enough to shake those berries loose from the Greedent. It'll try and match with body slams of its own, and Ryblet does shield up one of these body slams here. Greedent does get to it very quickly, but already we see a couple of body slams on the double, and I think you're going to get your wish, London, and the squirrel is going to be sent packing.
I think I am too, and we do see a number there from, and then we see an instant swap into Fluff, in which a counter
Oh,
swap comes in. The worst thing that Jump Fluff wants to see right now is this knockdown, which is going to resist the grass type moves but take neutral damage from the acrobatics.
but you know who also doesn't want to see that Noctowl, London? That Kafagrigus in the back for Ryblet. So Noctowl coming out here to deal with Jumplift, actually very nice for the Washington battler as he attempts to try and punch his ticket into the final eight. Jumplift gonna take that Sky Attack just fine and get this acrobatics off to try and knock the owl from the sky.
I like the no shield there. The no shield there, it gives off the impression that it's not desperation, even though it's the
Yeah.
no shield. I like that play. It just didn't work out. We bring in the double here, and we have to decide to.
I think you know shield this. I think you know double can survive a sky attack from Noctowl, and it can. And you see,
Ooh,
oh, that's
that's
a big catch.
yeah, and that was what I was concerned about. It's almost impossible for that not to happen there because, but we
Mm,
have we are now bringing out our Copa Grigas versus this Felix, and this is going to be a really, really steep hill to climb for Riblet here.
yeah, now Ryblet does have a shield where your Koski does not, and Steelix went for the earthquake.
A
Oh,
no shielded
huge.
earthquake there, and that is going to be devastating for Riblet, who is going to barely be hanging on with this Kofagrigas versus. Actually, we don't even get to KO the Steelix. The Steelix KOs, and is going to take this game for
Yeah.
Sergei Rakowski.
Yeah, a huge call there, a pivot point in the matchup. Ryblet choosing not to shield, knowing that that Steelix did not have crunch, but Earthquake hurts just as much.
It did
And
look to be the case, and that Steelix was able to clean up very nicely for Yakowski, taking the win.
so it's all come down to this game three between Ryblet and Yurkowski. A win for the American puts him through. And Jumpluff against Kafagrigas in the lead. A very neutral matchup here. Um,
Very neutral, both a little bit tanky. I'm gonna say acrobatics is gonna do probably more damage than, and we see a
ooh,
potential catch there that doesn't go well. And we see Kofa gonna throw one of these dark pulses, I assume, before they swap out of this matchup here.
Yep, gonna chip away at the double there and stay in a little bit longer, maybe trying to catch a payback potentially. Gonna get a second Dark Pulse off instead and then probably swap out.
Yes, well, it definitely does look like the Kofa is trying to see what the double wants to do, and
Oh!
we're on the greed end. The good thing though is that it is a neutral charge move that the greeting is catching, but it does quite a bit of damage to that greeting, almost half of its health.
Yeah, and I mean, you still don't want to take a payback, but Greedent is definitely the Pokemon you want to eat it. And I'm sure you do as well, London. I know you want to see that squirrel just take pain as much as possible.
If greeting disappeared from the Pokédex, I would never notice. All right,
But Double's gonna do you a favor and take out Greedent here with these body slams.
Yes, and that was a CMP tie, so Greedent would have to shield to be able to take swap here, and Greedent decides not to shield.
Yeah,
Coming in with the Kofa and wanting to do a serious farm down, but we have an swap by Ryland and throwing off these energy balls.
Yeah, Briblet not letting that Coffin get any energy, forcing the shield out of Kofa and the Noctowl is revealed. But look who's in the back for Riblet London. It is not a Coffin Mirror. It is Lapras lurking.
That is true. And Lapras is bulky, and Lapras is going to do quite a bit of damage to this knockdown and going to be able to take some moves. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how this plays out. I believe it's going to be right down to the wire.
This is key. No shield on the Sky Attack, and Jumpluff lives with 1 HP. And gets the acrobatics off.
Beautiful undercharge. They're able to get that acrobatics off and do massive amount of damage to knock down. That is a game changer there, AJ. That is the game changer.
And 1 Ice Shard eliminates Noctowl, and now this Coffin stares into the eyes of the water ice type and sees its own destruction. Lapras just able to outpace this Coffin. We see the first Surf coming up here, and Coffin's gonna have to give up the shield at some point. Also see Ice Beam on this Lapras, which I love.
Yes, and I imagine a catch is gonna be attempted here. It looks like the Kofa has quite a bit of energy, and it will lose CMP. Lapras will lose CMP, so it's going to be really interesting here to see what happens. But Lapras is able to get this Surf off. I don't think it's going to be enough, though. So let's see how this plays out.
It might not be enough, but that double's still there. 1 Ice Shard doesn't do it, but it's going to be firing off this energy. Can double kick this Coffin out of the tournament? Under. It has enough. It does do it.
It does indeed. That was by the hair. That was really, really, really close. It does look like Double was able to put the Coffin back in the ground with that win there.
Double kicking a ghost is how Riblet punches his ticket into the final 8. That one comes down to the wire. And do you believe that you can punch a ghost into submission or kick it? Whatever you do, maybe the Ghostbusters should have known that tactic. They might have had an easier time. Double knew that tactic. Riblet knew that tactic. And that is why Riblet is moving on to the final 8. The dream of $1,000 still alive, as Zappa and Riblet will move on from this final group. As we see here, Franz Ufazi did all he could. He actually beat Hot Pocket 2-1. Zappa lost his final battle against Stone Collection, so Stone Collection did what they needed to do. But Riblet's 2-1 over Yarkovsky gonna be enough. And Lions Den 3-0's Roger. A tough tournament for Roger. But Lions Den gets to move up to 5th place with that 3-0.
And like we have said multiple times tonight, major congratulations to both Zappa and Riblet. Riblet being able to come out of a deficit from the beginning of this tournament, going 0-2, ending 2nd place here. advancing rather. Let's put it that way, advancing rather to the finals. And as AJ mentioned, for an opportunity to win $1,000. I am jealous.
I am too. Not just for the $1,000, but the title of Silph World Champion. And I don't know if you have the screen, but we have our final 8. I can tell you, one of them has been in chat quite a bit tonight, and we love them for it. Maximilian P was the first qualifier. Going to be joined by Jay's Fan 55, Vroom Vroom Pow, Rise to Occasion, Vonnie, Inner Bloom 94, Zappa 9, and Ryblet. That is your final 8. The final will be on the Silph Arena channel October 22nd at 4 p.m. London Standard Time. That's noon for the East Coast. It's 1 p.m. for me, so it's, it's midday. I can be fine with that. But it is going to be a heck of a Saturday battle between those final 8 London. I don't know about you, but I'm excited.
It is going to be quite intense. And as we went over the roster of people going into this tournament today, but when you called out the names for the finals for next week, it just really showcased many incredibly talented battlers that we'll have showcasing next week. I am going to definitely tune. It's going to be something worth the watch.
Yeah, and just a reminder, like I said, Silph Arena is the channel you want to be following to make sure you get to watch all those great battles. But London, our time here has come to an end. Again, thank you so much to Pallet PvP and to the lovely Fish on a Heater, working things in the back end. I'm sure Fish will plug whatever he wants when he has the chance. But London, tell the people where they can find you and your work.
Well, first of all, I do want to just say thank you today, Final Boss 8. So much respect for you. I learned a lot, and you did an amazing job basically being the fountain of knowledge and information today. So I truly appreciate that. I am a streamer here on Twitch. I can be found at HM London, like the city, and on Twitter as HM London Pogo. So please drop me a follow. I will be going live here soon.
I will be watching because I'm here and I need to calm down, and I love tuning into your streams, London. You have such a calm demeanor on chat, just very soothing. So
I appreciate you tuning in. That means a lot.
No problem. Happy to do it. Just a reminder, you can find me here on Twitch. I am a streamer as well. I offer fountains of knowledge because I am not that good a battler, but we have some fun. Anyway, now that I'm in my new apartment, which has its reveal tonight, so y'all get to be the first to see my new digs as I start building up and start making that wall behind me a little less bland. You can follow me on Twitch at Final Boss AJ. That is my stream. The original Final Boss, not like that factions team that popped up. But I'll be back to my usual schedule. I hope Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at noon Eastern, and then Thursday whenever I get the time, and then Friday or Saturday depending on what I feel like doing. But the Monday through Wednesday is in stone. We will be back at it tomorrow. Basically, we're just going to be saying bleep Stunfisk, so watch out for that. And then follow me on Twitter at A_J_Andrews. The underscores are there because Twitter is dumb and I barely check it, but I'm verified on there, so lol.
We love the verifications, don't we?
I mean, it's just proof it's dumb. But London, you are not. It has been a pleasure broadcasting alongside you, my man. Like I said, can't wait to check out your stream. We are going to be rating another friend of mine in Bubble Mouse OG. I am sure she's getting up to some mischief. So we'll go check her out. Love her. I can't wait to duo with her again. Anyway, thank you all so much for being here, and make sure October 22nd, you are tuned into that finals. It is going to be a treat. But until then, for my co-host HM London, I have been Final Boss AJ. Thank you all so much for checking out this stream. And keep battling, y'all.